The webinar has started. Welcome, everyone. I will start us off putting it in the chat once. Welcome. Bienvenue. Bienvenidos. Yokoso. Welcome. Welcome to our celebration. We'll get started in a few minutes at 3 o'clock. Bye. Welcome, everyone. We are here to celebrate 2,000 multilingual students. So exciting. From over 100 different schools in New York City. Welcome. So we have 24, I guess they're coming in. Yep. Good. Put the link in the chat to the program. Welcome, everyone. We'll get started very soon. Thanks for being here after a busy day at work. Gorgeous outside. Hi, Lilith. Welcome, welcome. We have the chat open because we know you like to congratulate each other, and we have the emoji reactions feature available as well. We're here to celebrate so many students in schools, over 100 schools, 2,000 students across our city. So all 5 boroughs represented. It's really exciting. Thanks to colleagues from DML who are here, and we'll get started in a few minutes.
Hi, Jill.
Hi. Hi, Lisa, how are you? Oh, hi. Hi, Superintendent Kola. So glad so many of you are here to celebrate our schools and our students. 2,000 this year, and the forms keep coming in. Yeah. Candy, do you have the number of end of year data forms you've received so far? Or are we?
Yes, we're about 80% reported. We've already surpassed the number of seals that we gave out last year, and we do have high hopes for this year, and we're looking forward to getting the rest of them in about a month.
Yeah, cool, thanks. So it is 3 o'clock. We are so excited to be here to celebrate. We will get started. And Heather, did you start recording? Yes, okay, perfect. Okay, let's get started. I'm Jill Schimmel with the Division of Multilingual Learners, joined here by my colleagues and our fearless leader, who we're going to hear from in a second. We are so glad to be here. You know, our year is very busy. This is one of my favorite days of the entire year. when we remember why we're in education, which is to celebrate the students, the skills that they've learned in our schools or they've cultivated at home. And we want to thank the teams of over 105 schools that are here today or are still at the building working with students. I know it's a busy time of year, but we are here to celebrate nearly 2,000 Seal of Biliteracy candidates from over 105 different schools across every borough, so many different districts in the city. And we are all here to celebrate. This year has been absolutely amazing with a record number of candidates for the Seal. So just real quickly, why are we even here? I think most of us know the Seal of Biliteracy is a graduation endorsement. It's a distinction. And every single candidate this year should be so proud of what they've achieved and what they're going to take with them when they leave our New York City public schools. World languages, foreign languages, mean so much in our society. 9 out of 10 employers are looking for multilingual employees. And all of you here have achieved a high level of proficiency in English and another language. Maybe it's one you've studied in school, or maybe it's one you speak at home. And you should be so proud of this. Some of you are graduating with the Seal of Biliteracy in 3 languages, one student at Wagner with 4 languages. It's really amazing. It's preparing you, setting you up for success in college, career, our global society. All your post-secondary goals, you will be ahead of the game. And so we're still working on the distribution of seals and medals. You have a seal to put on your diploma. You have record on your transcript. You have score reports. You'll have a medal to wear at your graduation. And you have, most importantly, the sense of pride in your heritage or a language that you've learned or that you speak at home. So kudos to all of you. Omedetou gozaimasu. Congratulations, and so glad you're here. Today we are celebrating, again, 2,000 student candidates. We expect that number to go up as we get more forms. That includes our current English language learners. We are so proud in New York City that we have high numbers of students that are current English language learners or ever English language learners. At some time in their career, they were considered English language learners. They are continuing to develop in their home language. Heritage speakers, students who may speak another language at home, right, and have a connection to the language, and they are proud and have continued to study in it. And students who are not considered English language learners with a home language of English, but through our robust language programs in New York City, whether it starts in middle school or they've been in an elementary bilingual program, they have achieved this verified level of proficiency. We have over 100 school teams, 108 so far, and they have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to work with students to get them ready for presentations, to think about how they can advocate for the seal at their own school, on college applications, things like that. All 5 boroughs, and kudos, just thank you to all the coordinators who are making this happen, coordinating at the school level, working with students, maybe after hours, maybe on weekends, and the administrators and school leaders who've made this happen, the superintendents who have designated district points to expand this, so thank you. The program is in the chat, and it has our lineup of speakers and the name of all the student candidates to date. We have in our global city, we are multilingual NYC. Here this year, we have 34 different languages represented, including some new languages, Bisaya, which is connected to Tagalog, and the Philippines. And we have so many different languages, and we'll hear from so many different students. And so we want to thank our fearless leader, Dr. Mirza Sanchez Medina. She's the proud chief of our Division of Multilingual Learners since 2019. She founded Manhattan Bridges High School, which has always had one of the largest Seal of Biliteracy programs in the city. They've been doing the seal since the beginning. graduated from the University of Puerto Rico, degrees in chemistry and education. She was a bilingual science teacher, graduate degrees, and now she has her doctorate in educational leadership from Fordham University. So Dr. Sanchez Medina, thanks for welcoming everyone.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and woohoo, it's a celebration. I'm so excited. This is such an excitement and a strong message that we are sending to New York City, to New York State, to United States, and to the world. And I so appreciate the work that you do day in and day out. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me. Again, I'm Mirza Sanchez Medina. I'm proud chief of multilingual learners in New York City public schools. And again, I'm so excited about how we get to celebrate our students, our heritage, our languages. Thank you so much for this work. I know it's hard work, and the students put in so much. I've been in other presentations where students are presenting their work, and I am extremely proud of our students in New York City. I want to thank Jill Schimmel in particular for her dedication to ensuring that all students are getting this work done, that we are providing the information to the districts, that we're providing information to schools, that she's answering those questions. She pulls whomever she needs to pull in our team to support her. And the way she knows, every time I ask her a question about a particular school or numbers, she's like, this is like a robot. She knows those numbers and all that information. So I'm very appreciative of her and the work that the Division of Multilingual Learners do to ensure that it's New York City multilingual. We want to make sure that that happens. I also want to thank our great partner, Candace Black. It seems like she belongs to the Division of Multilingual Learners because we see her everywhere. She participates, she supports us, even though she is from the New York State Education Department's Office of Bilingual Education and World Languages. She is such a strong supporter of New York City and the work that we do. And she has no problem coming in whenever we need her and showing up. So thank you, Candace, for the work that you do. I want to thank the students and the families. I know this is hard work as a principal. And yes, we were one of the first schools to offer the seal. It was a lot of work, and I knew the students had to put in extra work, and we were so proud of them and the families that supported them. But I also want to thank the teachers, the guidance counselors, the assistant principals, the principals, and other staff in the school that made this happen for them, that believed in the students and said, we want you to have the seal by literacy. So come on, let's do this work. You can do it. I want to thank also the district staff, superintendents, deputies, ETSOs, the MESAs and everyone else, the CPSs who are very ensuring that our L points in the districts, ensuring that the information is getting across and that we're getting there. I'm proud to share that this year, like Jill said, New York City public schools will graduate students over 2,000 and counting, she told me, right? The list is going to grow more. Yay. Including diverse languages. That's a big win for us, right? Burmese, Nepali, forgive me if I mispronounce some names, Chui, Busaya, and more. I need to become more multilingual. I am so happy. Congratulations to you students, soon to be graduates. And thank you for giving us feedback also on how to do this, ensuring that we have other languages included. By earning the seal of biliteracy, you have demonstrated your proficiency, not just in English, but also in other language and other languages, because some of you went for more than one seal. You are ready to start your journey in being global leaders. And I want you to remember that you have a superpower. You are speaking another language. You can communicate in other languages, and you can make a difference in the world. And by learning another language, you're also learning other people's culture. I was so excited to hear students speak about my culture, Puerto Rico, and speaking about the different dances and the different ways that, Puerto Ricans in the island, how we communicate through either spoken word or the dance. So by me witnessing others, students presenting, I felt, if you filled my heart, that you cared enough for my culture that you decided to study and do this seal and do a project about Puerto Rican dances. So again, I want to congratulate you. I want to tell you, sí se puede. You have demonstrated. You're going to be successful in college. You're going to put the same energy you did for high school and more for colleges, and you're going to come back and you're going to rule this world. So we want to hear more about you. I was able to clear my calendar, so now I can stay for the whole time. So I'm excited. I'm super excited to be here. Yes, and let's celebrate. Jill, take it away. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And again, this is like the day we really celebrate our students. So thank you. And it wouldn't be possible without our district teams. So again, and I see some superintendents here. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for designating someone to work with your schools directly. I don't get into schools. These are the folks who have their multilingual learner and English language learner services administrators. They're the ones who are in schools, working with the ENL teachers, working with the school leaders, working with the guidance counselors as needed. And I just want to thank all these folks for helping expand. Every single superintendency, high school superintendency, has brought on new schools. So these folks are really the reason that more students across the city have access to this graduation endorsement. So thank you all for being part of this. So and we have over 20 new schools this year, and it's the first year. There's a lot to learn, right? All of you are kind of getting your feet wet, really understanding the various pieces. In New York State, we have a really exciting point system, which allows for equity and access. If a student is at a small high school that may not offer AP Spanish language, for example, they have pathways to the seal of biliteracy in different ways. So I just want to thank the school teams and those coordinators at these schools that are working for the first time, figuring this all out. First cohort of students, some of them have one student, which is great. We really celebrate that student. Some have larger cohorts for this first group, and we continue to expand. So kudos to these schools. And so we have multiple students ready to speak, and we will come back to her, to our first student. But we would love to hear a little more from our partner, Candace Black, who represents New York State Office of Bilingual Education and World Languages. And as Mirza said, this work would not be possible without the partnership, the texts, the calls all the time with Candy, really thinking through different pieces. So Candace, please speak. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. So welcome, students, and thank you to Dr. Mirza Sanchez Medina and Jill Schimmel for the opportunity to take part in this wonderful celebration of multilingualism. It's true that none of us achieves anything by ourselves, and this is truly a team effort between you, the students, but also your families, your teachers, your counselors, and of course, the amazing team at the Division of Multilingual Learners. As Jill said, my name is Candace Black, and I have the pleasure of working in the Office of Bilingual Education and World Languages at the New York State Education Department. I'd like to extend an official congratulations on behalf of the Associate Commissioner of our office, Elisa Alvarez. We'd like to congratulate you all for this wonderful achievement called the New York State Seal of Biliteracy. From just 10 pilot schools in New York City that offered this program in 2015-16, we now have over 160 schools in the current year that we anticipate from the New York City region that will offer the Seal of Biliteracy. This program is really in full expansion, and we're so proud of your attainment of this distinction. Through demonstrating a high level of proficiency in English and one or more world languages, you have joined an elite group of high school graduates. Did you know that only 3% of New York State high school graduates earn the seal of biliteracy? And you are among them. But more than 1 in every 5 seal earners in the state is from the New York City region. And that's no surprise given the incredible linguistic and cultural diversity of the city and its 2 million students. Last year, we awarded the seal in 86 different languages, and the primary driver of that linguistic diversity was none other than New York City graduates. Did you know that you can earn the seal in more than one world language in addition to English? Last year, we had about 250 students do it in 2 languages, 10 in 3, and we had our second student in New York State history earn the seal of biliteracy in 4 world languages in addition to English. We're on track to beat all of those numbers this year. As Jill said, we are still expanding and getting in those reports. But I do want to let you know that 2024 is a historic year. Not only is this the first year in U.S. history that every single state in the union, including Washington, D.C., has a state seal of biliteracy program. It's also historic for New York, because in New York, we had in 2024, the very first seal of biliteracy graduate who is earning the seal in 5 languages in addition to English, something I thought would be physically impossible. So Ms. Schimmel mentioned that seal earners in New York City number about 2,000. Just to give you an idea of how this award is really taking off, New York City had just under about 1,500 last year. So you graduates represent more than a 30% increase from the prior year. Dr. Miguel Cardona is our Secretary of Education for the U.S. Department of Education, and he shared a new initiative called Raise the Bar, Lead the World. He believes, as do we, that every student should have the opportunity to become multilingual. You are that physical manifestation of Secretary Cardona's vision. We look forward to all of your future endeavors and how your multilingual skills will fit into and enhance your college and career plans. Thank you for all of your hard work in these last 12 years, and congratulations on this momentous achievement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Candice, for being here. Okay, and so we have a program of speakers, and we want to hear from our first student speaking live today, Ms. Jocelyn Reyes, and she's part of the first cohort at Queens High School for Information Research and Technology, HART, and so she's here to talk about her experience. Go ahead, Jocelyn.
Hello, my name is Jocelyn Reyes from Queens High School for Information Research and Technology. I'm one of the first students to achieve the seal of biliteracy. This is our first year for our school. So I've been inspired by a lot of things. During these years, I've learned a lot and I've gained so much experience. But my main inspiration for my topics and the things that I would like to talk about was the society we live in. Basically, society nowadays, I see how it's structured and how we focus on a lot of things that maybe we're focusing on the wrong ones. So I wanted to emphasize the points that are not brought out there. I feel like they are underestimated because I feel like not everyone is heard. And with our language and communication, I feel like there might be barriers in some parts of the world, or even right close to us. So that's why I felt like my topics of creativity and social welfare were really important to me, because I wanted to connect them so that I could emphasize the point that we all have a voice to use, whether our words may be little or big. I feel like we all have an impact and we all have the power to take an initiative and start a huge change. So while I was doing my studies for creativity and social welfare, I actually learned a lot. It brought upon a new perspective for me because I learned about different age groups and different race groups and a lot. I learned about a lot of people, and it just showed me how our perspectives on things can either hinder us or push us to do better for our world and community. I feel like a lot of us might be scared to talk and advocate for ourselves. So I feel like our voice is a huge power we have, and especially being able to learn a lot of languages, whether it's sign language or a foreign language, I feel like it's a huge power because we get to connect with others. And not just that, but we also get to communicate with them, hear them out and understand them, see their perspectives on a lot of things, and be able to keep our minds open, to be able to meet new people and not have them be afraid of being able to advocate for themselves. And then I said, the next question was, what are your future plans and how will you use Spanish? Will you continue to study in college? So my future plans consist of attending college to pursue a career in education to further help me make a difference in my community around me. So I'm a person that is very optimistic and very positive. I really always love to try my best in everything I do. And I want to be able to use my knowledge that I already have to be able to expand it. I don't know exactly every language out there in the world, but I want to be able to learn it so I can be able to understand every student. Like, for example, I want to be a teacher for students with disabilities. So I want to get myself into learning sign language or Braille even, because I want to be able to help a student and help them understand that they're not alone in their journey and that communication is an essential part in our lives. And I feel like if we are able to give people the access to be able to be heard and be able to be listened, it's a huge power we have. Just even listening to someone can make a huge difference in their life. And so I said that para cerrar la barrera de confusión y para poder comunicar sin dificultad, because I've seen so many people struggle just to talk about personal things or even things that they should be able to talk about to basically anyone, because there is always this barrier of language. And so that really opened my eyes, because a lot of people deserve to be heard and they deserve to be listened to, and their opinion matters so much. And so my key takeaways in this is that since we all have this power to talk and be able to raise our voices, I feel like we have so much potential in us to do the better for our society and our community and our world in general. Even though it may be little steps or baby steps even, what matters is that we take the initiative to make a step forward. Even if we go backwards, at least we move forward because we learn from our mistakes.
Okay, thank you, Jocelyn, so
Thanks
much
so
for
much.
your words. And
Thank
really, yeah, these empowered students, the advocacy piece. So thank you, Jocelyn. I know you'll build amazing bridges between cultures, and we do hope you become a teacher here in New York City. And we would love if you became a language teacher, right? We need world language teachers, bilingual teachers, and a lot of students with IEPs are in those classes. So you can really bridge all your interests. So stay with us in New York City. So thanks. Thank you. So next, we are very excited this year, and it's been in the works for multiple years, to really think through how to collaborate with our partners at different post-secondary institutions, specifically the City University of New York. And so many of our students, many of you here might be attending one of the many CUNY campuses that we benefit from in our city. And so we are so thankful to be working directly with the Office of Academic Affairs, Dean Ashley Thompson, and Alyssa Vine, who's the university's director of Credit for Prior Learning, who can share a little bit more about our partnership and what that means for you, New York City Public Schools students and schools, and as you go on to CUNY campuses. Alyssa?
Great. Thank you so much, Jill. I am so delighted to be here. I am honored to be part of today's ceremony. In my role as CUNY's University Director of Credit for Prior Learning, I have learned a lot about the Seal of Biliteracy over the last year, as CUNY has started to explore awarding credit for the seal. The more I've learned about it, the more impressed I've been by the rigorous, thoughtful work that it takes to earn this distinction on your diploma. And I really want to take this opportunity to say congratulations to all of the students who have done so this year. I also want to extend a warm welcome to CUNY to those of you who plan to attend a CUNY college in the fall. While the seal is still new to many of our colleges and establishing credit for the seal will be a work in progress, I urge all of you to present the certificate provided by your high school when you are registering for classes. Ask about the possibility of credit and let your professors in your language classes and in other classes know about this aspect of your high school experience. They will be excited to learn more about the Seal of Biliteracy and to better understand how it fits into your educational and career aspirations. I hope that for many of you, this is only the beginning of your journey as a multilingual learner. To that end, I will be sharing in the chat a link to information about the vast range of language, ethnic, and identity studies programs offered across CUNY. There are many options for you continuing your language studies at every CUNY college and countless ways that multilingualism can enhance your college experience, including scholarships, study abroad opportunities, paid work opportunities. Your ongoing engagement and pursuit of higher level language skills will enrich any classroom that you enter and will open doors to any career that you may pursue. Remember that CUNY is always here for all New Yorkers, and we cannot wait to see the waves that you will make in this city. Congratulations and best wishes for a joyful graduation season.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. And as she shared, this is a work in progress, right? It's the first year and each CUNY campus will work a little differently, but as our student Jocelyn shared, it's about you advocating for yourself. And as school teams, you will be presented with a certificate that states you received the Seal of Biliteracy. It will be on your transcript, your high school transcript, and we're encouraging all your coordinators to make sure you have copies of your score reports and things like that. So thank you. And again, Alyssa, thank you so much. And she shared in the chat information about the studies at CUNY campuses. So next, we'd like to hear from one of our students. This is Aminatou Lo. She's a Seal of Biliteracy awardee in French from Liberty High School for Newcomers, and she's joined with her coordinator, Jose Segura. So, Aminatou?
Yes.
Yep, we hear you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aminatou Lo, and I'm from Liberty High School. I am a student from, basically I originated from Senegal, which is the West African country. And I got awarded with the Seal of Biliteracy, and that was like a great experience for me. Because first I was like, oh, I'm gonna give up. This is too hard. I won't have time for it. I'm in high school, I'm graduating this year, I can't. But my teacher convinced me to stay in it and that it will benefit me in the future a lot. And while researching, actually, I got more from it than anything before, because I got to know more about facts about my country that I didn't know concerning women. And also I got to learn more about my career. I got to choose my career path and decided to what college I will go to and researching fact that will benefit me in the future. And I will use actually this Seal of Biliteracy because, like the student earlier said, this learning in this high school and getting the Seal of Biliteracy help us connect with a lot of communities. Because sometimes you might face someone who doesn't speak English or speak another language that you don't speak. But learning the Seal of Biliteracy also, I developed my French to help me communicate with other French people. And also the English, it's not my first language, it's my second. And with that, I got more knowledge from the Seal of Biliteracy. I'm able to communicate with other people, not only connect with other communities, but also connect them between them. And that's like a great gift that I got from this whole program. And something that I could say in French that I liked a lot is like, j'ai adoré faire cette expérience. C'était vraiment formidable. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to your team at school. And we see your superintendent here, Dominica McPartland, and just thank you. And you had a very cool sweatshirt on. All of you do. You're proud and multilingual. So that's amazing. Thank you. Glad you're here. And so we have so many pictures to share. So many folks shared pictures and videos, and there's not enough time to hear from all of them. But next, we'd like to hear from one of our very experienced coordinators, Maria Quintanilla, who has been doing the seal for multiple years at Energy Tech High School in Queens. And she teaches and she supports students, and she's really to Aminatu speaking about how this felt like a lot of work senior year, we're really trying to help schools understand how the seal is a natural extension of the learning students do already in English classes, already in language classes. So Maria, as coordinator, can speak a little more about how she works with students. Go ahead, Maria.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maria Quintanilla. Thank you so much for having me, and congratulations to students, parents, and teachers, because we're here to celebrate our hard work, our students' hard work, and also our linguistic diversity. So I'm here to talk a little bit about a clear pathway to the seal of biliteracy. I am a Spanish teacher, so I incorporate the whole process of seal of biliteracy from the very beginning, because it's a long process, it's rigorous, and we all know that it's a lot of work for our seniors. So one of the things that I do is I work with the English department at my school, and we find ways to incorporate the capstone project, if the students need it, in the ELA courses, so that it's a part of a class. So it's not extra work for the teacher, and really no extra work for our students. Same thing for, in my case, Spanish classes. We start from the very beginning. I'm going to say that by October or November, I'm already working with the students to get their capstone, or I'm sorry, to get their project going. And I also incorporate that into our units of study, so that it's no more work for our students and no more work for me as a teacher. For the students who want to pursue the seal of biliteracy in other languages other than Spanish, who are not in my class, I establish a Google Classroom, and I keep them up to date to what it is that they need to do, and for them to check in with me. It's almost like an independent study that they have to come in and check to do with me, but the students help each other out. They enjoy talking about the research that they're doing. They really motivate each other. When one thinks it's so hard to do, they have so many other things to do, and classes and projects and college applications. They motivate each other to keep going. And I think at Energy Tech High School, and I think in many of our schools, all the teachers come together to evaluate the presentations of our students at the end of the year, and also to see what the counselor comes over and she takes a look at what are the requirements that the students already have. And I think it's not something that just the teacher needs to do. It's something that the school community wants to do for our students, and it's wonderful really to see the end result when they're doing their presentations, just to hear them speak in other things other than the classroom discussions that we have with them. They're so grown, and they really have something to say about the world around them, and they really care, and they are aware of what's happening around them. So it's definitely a clear pathway where it's not extra work for our students and no extra work for our teachers or our counselors. It really can be done, and it's all worth it anyways, because it is a lot of work, but it's worth it for our students. And to hear our students speak the way we have heard today makes it all worthwhile.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you so much for sharing your experience at the school. So now we have a video from a student, Adrielle Medina Chevalier, who's part of the first cohort of, is that the right screen? Can you see the slides? Sorry, no, wrong screen. Sorry. First cohort at Bronx High School for Medical Science. And he gave us his words about how he experienced the seal.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Adriel Medina Chevalier. Hello, good morning. My name is Adriel Medina Chevalier, and I'm from the Bronx High School for Medical Science. And I was one of the only few people here in Bronx High School for Medical Science able to do the Seal by Literacy project. And I feel like a lot of people should know more about this, and should also, if you're bilingual, they should all do this to show that you still know your language. And why not also getting a medal and doing a project that will help you understand yourself a little more, like it did with me. And it just was a good experience, and like I got to know my teachers closely because they were working with me. I also got to know myself a little more, and it just was such a good experience. And I would like to invite everybody to do the Seal by Literacy. And it just like it was so of an amazing experience. Para mí fue una experiencia muy impresionante. Estoy agradecido por haber sido parte de esto, y creo que todo el mundo debería de hacer esto. Muchas gracias. Adiós.
Thank you, Adriel. And so,
Hola,
sorry. And there are so many videos from students that we can't share today. So I'll send a follow-up. We'll make sure we have everyone's media release forms, and really hearing from the students what inspired them, what they learned about themselves, especially their own culture or a culture they've been studying. So it's really great to hear from the students. So thank you. Next, we have,
Hola, buenas tardes.
oops, sorry. We will hear from my colleague Florence in a sec, but we have a parent with us today. Ms. Oriana Riley is the mother of Sterling Weber, who's graduating from Midwood High School with the Seal of Biliteracy in French. And Ms. Riley is going to talk about her experience when her daughter was working on the seal. Ms. Riley?
Hi, and it's really wonderful to be here with everybody. I have a few things prepared here, but first off, I'd like to congratulate all of the students. I know what it takes to do this project. I know what it takes to learn watching from my daughter continue all through school learning a different language, and I just want to extend a warm congratulations to you all. It's extremely impressive, and to all the coordinators and the people that keep these programs happening. It's just wonderful. So my name is Oriana. I'm the mother of Sterling, who's graduating from Midwood High School with the Seal of Biliteracy in French. When we were registering Sterling, we had newly moved to Brooklyn, and we were registering her for elementary school. This is before I even understood what being a parent of a New York City public school child is about, with all the applications and such. So I was just kind of oblivious. I knew that the school had a French program, and we were extremely excited, the idea of she could be in a dual language program. Unfortunately, the whole school was not a dual language program, so it was by lottery. If you were the Anglophone section of the class, it was by lottery. So we added her name to the Anglophone lottery, and lo and behold, luck had it that she got a spot. And we didn't realize how this would shape not only Sterling's life forever, but our life forever. We were inspired to enroll her because we did not grow up with another language, my husband and I. And as we continued through college and our early adult lives, we realized that that was a deficit, that we really wished we had had another language that had started so early. I can stumble my way through Spanish, but never in a way where if I had been learning from kindergarten, I would have had that language instilled in me. So from kindergarten to fifth grade, Sterling would receive instruction 50% in French. We swapped our apartment many times to be able to go to France with other French families in Brooklyn. So we would get to go and explore. She also engaged in French after school activities, and we really worked as a family to support her exposure to French since she had none of it at home. What was incredible to witness was how the kids helped each other, and how starting in kindergarten, there was just so little embarrassment, and how they really worked on comprehension the first couple of years. And then all of a sudden we found ourselves renting a car, a bit of a botched car rental situation in France. And here my little 8-year-old translated and helped us with that. So that was really incredible to witness. Fortunately, Sterling and some of her class were able to continue French in middle school 51 in Brooklyn, under the dedication of Madame DeWeaver, who's now since retired, but she was an incredible educator who helped Sterling advance and her classmates advance their French skills. And then luckily Midwood High School still offered French as well. So Sterling was able to take all the classes there. And under the amazing educator, Max Pinsky in the World Languages Department at Midwood, she was introduced to this idea of the seal of biliteracy, which she took on. So she is now headed to Bard College and plans to at least minor, if not major, in languages, and also take up German as well. Just last week, we were walking in Fifth Avenue, and a scary moment happened where a man was hit on a bicycle, and he happened to be from Senegal, and my daughter was able to jump in and translate with the police and the paramedics. Luckily, the man was absolutely okay, thankfully. But it was just such a moment of watching her just flawlessly be able to jump in and help. So I'm so grateful to the public schools for supporting dual language programs. It'd be amazing to see them expanded. What a wonderful goal it would be if every child had exposure to dual language programs starting in kindergarten. And I'm so grateful to the New York schools. And lastly, so proud of my daughter and all of you students for how hard you've worked, no matter how you were introduced to this program of the seal of biliteracy. Just really, really impressed with all of you and all of you educators. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Riley, and thank you for sharing that. It's really amazing to hear about your daughter and the options that you chose for her. And we are proud in New York City to have so many bilingual programs. They're across all the boroughs and all the districts, maybe not in every single zip code, but we are really looking to expand, revitalize our bilingual program options. So again, dual language is just one of the program models. So thank you for sharing that experience. And again, the theme is that language builds bridges and helps others, humanitarian really. So thank you. And hi, Max. So thanks for all you do at Midwood. So next we're going to hear from a student at Newcomers High School, Matthew Junko. And Newcomers High School had 120 awardees this year, which is the largest number in the city. That's under Superintendent Watu in Queens North, and Antoinette Tucci is the district point who's really expanded the seal in Queens North. So kudos to everyone. And Matthew, they needed 2 pictures because there were so many. I had the honor to speak at their graduation last year, and it's just an amazing place where students feel heard and seen and really are celebrated. So Matthew, you want to tell us about your experience?
Hello, everybody. My name is Matthew Junko, and as you may know already, I'm currently enrolled at Newcomers High School. As a matter of fact, today is my last day of the school. But back in the day, I came to this country 3 years ago with nothing else but my mother's love and luggage for perhaps 2 weeks. And my English, of course, wasn't like Shakespeare back then. I can assure you that. For me, the key to get a good fluency in English was an empathetic environment where my teachers will take time, like for example, to take their cell phones out and put the translator in the speaker so all of the students will feel included. They will do this like 5 times. For example, if there were like 5 different languages and some students wouldn't get English thoroughly, they will put this translator for all 5 languages. And that kind of dedication, I think, was the key for me to learn English and gain the seal of biliteracy today. Getting this recognition, the seal of biliteracy represents one of the main goals my mother and I had back when we came to the United States from Colombia. Is like the realization, like I finally learned English and I feel so proud about it. I also would like to congratulate my fellow high schoolers who also got these recognitions. Les quiero decir que han trabajado muy fuerte por esto y que se lo merecen completamente. Disfruten.
Thank you so much, Matthew, and to you and all your classmates and to the team at Newcomers High School to really make this happen. That's a lot of coordination. So thank you. And we do hope that you continue in it and stay in New York City or wherever and come back to us. So thank you. And so next, we wanted to hear from another grown-up. We're trying to have a mix of grown-ups and our young people, right? Our young leaders. And we want to hear from my colleague, Florence Dennis, who has had the opportunity. I've gotten to know Florence over the last few years. She's the director of career readiness, and she's also someone I've counted on to help students in different languages. She's served as an advisor for students in languages such as Twi and Uwe. And so she and the school teams really work to support students. Maria Quintanilla mentioned this, right? In your school community, you might have students who speak languages that you don't offer in your school, or no one at your school speaks their language, no staff members. So that's where we really try to coordinate advisors for those students. So every student in any language has a pathway to the seal of biliteracy in their language and some way to be really proud. And we've started to work with consulates and different community organizations, but we're thankful to our advisors who really step up to help someone in their language. They're volunteers, so just thank you very much. And Florence, please share your experience.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes. Bonjour. Undona miapete. This is how you would greet someone good afternoon in Ewe, the language I speak. My name is Florence Dennis, and I'm the Director for Career Readiness at the Division of Multilingual Learners. I am so happy to be with you all today to celebrate and uphold the important role language plays in our individual and collective lives. I would like to begin with a Chinese quote that says, "To learn a language is to have one more window from which you look at the world." So, to the students who are receiving the New York State Seal of Biliteracy today, I would like to say you have just opened a new window from which you can see the world. You have opened up new opportunities to connect with new people and new cultures. You have also opened up new doors for career opportunities in your future. I encourage you to continue to pursue learning new languages and using your language skills to make the world a better place. I'm originally from Ghana and I happen to speak two popular languages, which are Twi and Ewe. And while I consider myself a multilingual person, I never valued these languages, right? Until Jill tapped me and said, "Hey, can you support students who are pursuing the seal of biliteracy in Ewe and Twi?" Like, never in my wildest imagination did I ever think that these languages will be useful in my professional career. I remember when I interviewed for this job, my now supervisor asked me, "Do you speak any other languages?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't think so," because I never thought these were international languages, right? But now I've come to understand that every language is important, whether it is internationally recognized or not. Our language skills are invaluable. And so I encourage all of the students to continue to take pride in your language, whether it's recognized or not, whether it's spoken by just 100,000 people or 5 million people, excuse me. I also want to especially applaud Olivia Dan Tete Adai, who is the student I supported this year in receiving the Seal of Biliteracy in the Ewe language. I admire you for taking pride in your home language and for the work you have put into developing proficiency in Ewe. I also want to thank Miss Jamie Maple, who is Olivia's advisor and teacher. Your relentless effort to support your students on this journey is really remarkable. And in closing, I would just like to congratulate all of the students who have successfully completed the requirements for the New York State Seal of Biliteracy. I know it wasn't easy, but you did it, and you should be really proud of yourselves. It's really impressive that this is happening in New York City, and I am so honored to work for the division that is leading this work. Thank you all, and a special thank you to Jill for the great work she's doing and for your leadership in this work. So hope you all have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Florence. And Florence is an entrepreneur too. And so in business, we know how helpful languages are. And we want all of you to know that your language is valued and seen, and whatever you speak, however you speak, that's authentic language, and you should be proud of that. So just again, thank you to Florence and Maria Friedland and all the volunteers that I've tapped to support students in languages where their schools maybe couldn't support them. And so just thank you for being here. So it's 3:50 and we wanted to share a short video from Mason Siegel, who I believe right now is getting ready for prom. And he has achieved the seal of biliteracy in French and Spanish. He gave us a longer video. I'm going to show you just a short excerpt. And again, he speaks to how he will use this language in the future. And I hope it's loud enough. But I'll make sure you have access to all of these afterwards. I have it back, so I hope it isn't too loud.
Those presentations defended my theses in a completely different format. My work on both Seal of Biliteracy have motivated me to think about career.
Sorry, just want to make it full screen for him. This is an excerpt, so he's talking about his two projects, one in French and one in Spanish.
Hola. I wrote in Spanish, the conversation in the foreign language with Ms. Peters and Ms. Intervaya, respectively. Those presentations defended my theses in a completely different format. My work on both Seal of Biliteracy have motivated me to think about careers where my foreign language skills can be put to good use. While at Murrow, I worked with Ms. Peters to found the French Club, where we raised over $1,000 to Haitian refugees in Brooklyn. The situation in Haiti continues to worsen, which has reinforced my commitment to use my foreign language skills as a foundation to work on international humanitarian issues. In college, at the University of Michigan, I hope to build on my language skills and study areas like international law, public health, and development economics to become more effective in helping those struggling in Haiti and Francophone Africa. To any high school student thinking about pursuing a Seal of Biliteracy, all I would say is to do it. Becoming proficient in a foreign language opens up an entirely new world of learnings and perspective that are simply unavailable to those who only speak one language. There's no better place to do it in a city like New York, where a third of the population was born overseas and over half speak a language other than English at home. At my 4 years at Murrow, this Seal Biliteracy program has been one of the most eye-opening experiences I've worked on. I think it's provided a foundation for what I hope will be an international life. I want to thank Ms. Malkoff for her continued support and engagement, and the rest of the Foreign Language Department at Murrow for welcoming me with such open arms. Have a great summer. Merci y adios.
Thank you to Mason for being with us virtually. And the earlier part of his speech, he was fortunate enough to live in different countries in Europe, and he's inspired to study more languages. So you'll have access to all these videos. And it's just so inspiring to hear from all these students and how they expect to use their language in the future. So as we close, I wanted to share some pictures. So many sent in pictures of their celebrations of students. And again, this is why we're here, right? It's for the students. So we have John Adams students out in Queens. Look at all those smiling faces in so many different languages. Yadira Alejandro as the coordinator there. It is a lot of coordination, but really these students are so proud of who they are and what they've achieved. Here are Manhattan Center of Science and Mathematics students. Cynthia Montalvo's the first year coordinator, has made it happen for quite a few students there. And
Hola, mi nombre es
this is Isla International School for Liberal Arts. They always have a very large program and the leadership there is amazing. And Manhattan Bridges, right? Dr. Mirza Sanchez Medina's school has a robust program, and we get visits from our colleagues at New York State. Candy is all over the state. She can't make it to every single visit, but she sends folks from the Regional Bilingual Educator Resource Network called the Arborns, and they come to see culminating projects, to see students shine, to look at the process. And so that's always great. And as Mirza mentioned, we got to go to Brooklyn Tech and see some students present there. And So this is Francis Lewis High School, so many different languages, so many different tracks. They have tracks of language, they have bilingual programs, they have tracks for heritage speakers, for native speakers, and it's just amazing the diversity in our schools. Every language is valued, and celebrating students. And Tottenville out in Staten Island, we're so excited. So many pictures. This is Bronx Latin, the teams behind these students really helping them shine. And so we close and it's 3:55. Wanted to just thank you and congratulations to all of you students. We will upload these videos, and hopefully for the coordinators here, these student voice videos can help inspire other students to pursue the SEAL. I'll be having some professional learning over the summer on really how to embed the projects into your existing courses. So again, as Maria said, it doesn't feel like extra work for students. You have such robust programs at your schools, so we want students to see the SEAL as a natural extension of the learning that they're already doing. So congratulations, omedetou gozaimashita, to all the 2024 SEAL of Biliteracy graduates. And just as you know, and the coordinators know this, there's a bank of resources available for you. I encourage you as students to tell other students at different schools about the SEAL. They can advocate for their school to start a program. Parents, please share with other parents. Any student or parent has the right to ask their school to start a program, and I am happy to help with working with the district points and getting a program started at the high school. We have flyers available in multiple languages for students, for families. Thank you, Candy, for making these available to us. And we are just so thankful to celebrate the students. So thank you for being part of this. We'll put, I don't have all your email addresses because I didn't require registration for this, but I am going to put in the chat one more time the program, and we can see names of over 2,000 students who really have worked so hard this year to make this happen. So thank you so much for being part of this. And the program, you can see your student's name in the chat. So thanks. Thanks, Vera, one of our first-time coordinators. Thank you for all you do, and now enjoy this gorgeous day, the close of the school year. And I will have a lot of info sessions this summer, actually, to get new schools on board. And if you want a refresher. Thanks.